my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your timeless work, career, vocation reading. I am your reader. Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. They're my initials. My professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Jarring the Circle Productions since 1998, 24 and a half years in service at the time of this timeless recording. I am also the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. It is available on Kindle. There is a link in the description box. You can preview it for free, including the dedication to my mom, who is a Cancerian sun sign, so raised by a crabby mob. Love her dearly. It was Sunday. Today's Sunday, the time of this recording. I will be calling her later. Yeah, I'm also a creator on Patreon, patreon.com/drawingthecircle. Talk about a creative outlet. A lovely members-only subscription service where you can set your own levels of subscription, what you charge per month, the benefits that you give to each of them. Loving it so much. All of my patrons get me every morning with an unlisted YouTube live stream link so they can chat with me. Usually, always, there's a cup of coffee in my hand, usually wearing my bathrobe, doing it from the couch, using the laptop, talking about the day's astrological weather, the magical implications, the magical applications, did I say that? Spiritual implications, the magical applications. That's the right way to say that. Always ending with a little prayer, a little blessing, sending us on our way. It's a great way to start the day. I love it so much. All of my patrons also get all of the extended readings, right? All the part ones on YouTube. You can pay-per-view on Vimeo, and I love it when people do. But all of my subscribers get access to the extended past, present, and future, and I've been doing them for a bunch of years, so there's a lot on there. As well as we've been doing Zoom classes, recording them, classes, workshops, hangouts. We even had a tarot party. I think we have a drunk tarot party coming up sooner or later for the holidays at the time of this timeless recording. So if you want to check that out, there is a link in the description box. Subscribe, come hang out. We're having a field day over there, building a lovely community, because I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you know, just call me Mal. Hey, my crab cakes. I have so many Cancerian women in my life. It's ridiculous. A handful of men, but predominantly women and goddesses. All of you, maidens, mothers, and crones, the moon children that you are. So let's get down to business. In case you are new to the channel and this type of reading, it's actually called the 3 Levels of Power reading, and there are links in the description box about that. One in particular from Carolyn Myss, MYSS. She is a PhD. These are her archetype cards, talking about the 3 levels of power at 3 lenses at which to look at different aspects of life. In this, we're looking at really your life purpose, how you survive, how you create, and how you follow your path, your work, your career, vocation. There are chakras involved. I'll explain it as I go. I trust the guides to do that for me because it's a lot to remember, and I really have to stay in the moment and intuitively tuned in Pisces moon that I am for a Cancerian read. So 13 cards in total. We're ending with the Whispers of Lord Ganesh, which will help with the archetypes. And I'll explain that as we get there. And I love these readings. I've been doing work, career, vocation reads for clients since I learned about the 3 levels of power. And really, I don't remember the exact year, but I remember it was the first iPod because I got her on audio, an audiobook of her talking about the 3 levels of power, and it just changed everything. So it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs. Your sun can be about your work, your moon, your career, your rising, your vocation. Who knows? Only you can know that, but usually in each reading there is one of the 3 levels of power that has leverage. Wiggle that one a little, the other 2 tend to shift. In other words, wiggle it just a little bit. I know some of you heard that as I did. Clairaudience for fun and profit. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and I will do my best as the son of a Cancerian mother, Virgo that I am, to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can so you fulfill your life purpose, work, career, vocation, and yes, money is part of that too. Because that as you do that, you shift to a more golden timeline, not just for you, but for the people that you love and really the planet itself. So let's get up in this gig. Please take a nice deep breath. from explanation to divination. Here we go. Still point. And here we go. Using the Caroline Myss archetype cards. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading for their work, career, vocation. I need the 3 dominant 8th chakra archetypes for their work, their career, and their vocation in that order, but we will read them. Vocation, career, and work for the Cancerian. So what's going on in their 8th chakra? Hovering over the head of all 3 levels, but in this case the first level of power, sending down the codes, the lessons, shifting the electromagnetic patterns of all the other chakras underneath it, which we will be looking at, for them to bring into alignment their first level of power, the literal world, lower 3 chakra dominant, how they survive, survival intuition, 2nd level of power, the personal level of power, their career, their passion, their hunger, their thirst, heart, third eye, crown. Oh, I almost had that one. Heart, third eye, crown, dominant, the alchemical laboratory, creative intuition. Yeah, that's that one. That's nice and clear. That felt very solid. Try and remember that. And their vocation, 8th chakra, dominant, their vocation, their spiritual calling, their visionary intuition, their mystical power. Heart, third eye, crown is emotional willpower, mental power, and spiritual power. This is mystical power, the chakra of the archetypes, the soul contracts themselves, the mystery of it all. What's going on in their 8th chakra dominant vocation in this timeless work, career, vocation read? Let's see how brave you are, because I could see some. Well. This is not, I wouldn't say this is horribly triggery, but I would say this is very interesting. We lay them down this way, we read them this way. On each card is the shadow attribute and the light attribute, the pain and the healthy part of it. I look at it through the lens of spiritual alchemy, from lead to gold. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold. You can't destroy those atoms, but you can release them, transform them. Alchemy, right? So you've got the rescuer in your vocation, you've got the orphan child in your career, and the visionary in your work. And these 3 have a very, very strong connection, as I will explain in a minute. But there are 9 different families. So you've got a healing family archetype. This just came up in the Taurus, the Gemini reading that I did earlier today. I think it was in the first level of power, so I noticed the repetition of cards. That's why I take a while to shuffle, but at least I know I thoroughly shuffled. The orphan child, the child archetype is a survival family archetype. Everybody has the child, the victim, victor, the saboteur / empowerer, and the prostitute, which is so not about Pretty Woman. It's so not about that, although part of it could be. It's really not about that. We all learn how to survive. And the child is the only card in this deck that has sub-patterns. So this is the orphan child, there's the magical child, the nature child, on and on and on. And the visionary is a creative family archetype, which in the physical work world is rather intense, and we'll get to that. So let's look at this. The shadow attribute of the rescuer, healing family archetype in terms of your vocation. The shadow, the lead, if you will, assumes that the rescued will reciprocate. And you know about when you assume you make an ass out of you and me, blah, blah, blah. But that's a preconceived notion. It's not necessarily based in the truth. Keeps the rescued one needy, which I guess this card has been coming up a lot. Sarah McLachlan music comes into the head. I know so many many animal rescuers that are so in the light, but I keep getting the adventures of Baron Munchausen syndrome, right? Keeping the rescued one needy. That's not good. That's just not good. The light attribute, the gold, what you're shooting for here, and healing this in the world as a result, provides strength and support to others in crisis. See, that's where the fine line is, in crisis. Rescuers come in crisis. They're not micromanagers, right? Acts out of love with no expectation of reward, and that I can see placed very, very clearly in someone's life calling, their vocation, particularly animal rescuers. I've dated them. One guy who rescued ferrets. It's a whole story. When I write that book, I'll change all the names to protect the guilty. Don't worry. But waking up, the ferrets bouncing all over the place was definitely an experience. So I know the rescue archetype in many different ways, shapes, and forms, but it is a healing family archetype. In your vocation, in your career, the orphan child is the foundation of so many of our heroes, both classic and contemporary, right? Dorothy Gale, Harry Potter, Kal-El of Krypton, Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker. I could go on. I mean, going even all the way back, Perseus, how far back you want to go, right? In history, in mythology, which shapes the archetypes, or the archetypes shape the mythology, forever young. The shadow, I have this one in spades, even though I was not literally orphaned. See, that's where if you go just right on the literal, you often miss the archetype completely. The shadow attribute, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, right? Soul retrieval, you leave a piece back there and you have to reclaim that through alchemy. This is exactly the way to do it, I would think. Seeking inappropriate surrogate families. I hung out with people in my first couple of years living in Boston at the Boston Conservatory. We had two names for the tribe that we created. The bakery, but we were not making cookies, and the heinous clique, because those were two of our vocabulary words in speech class. So, and theater, please. Inappropriate families, but still, I love every single one of them. Blessed be, we're going to try and do a big chill thing in a couple of years. The light attribute, right? Like a group of orphans. The light attribute, independence, based on learning to go it alone, conquering the fear of surviving. I mean, that is Dorothy, right? Finding the different parts of herself along the yellow brick road, solar plexus, journey of self-esteem. Carolyn Myss, it's out there somewhere. She looks at the archetypes of the Wizard of Oz, and it's freaking mind-blowing. So I'm familiar with the orphan archetype, but again, you don't have to be literally orphan, but in a career place, that might mean that you're not connected to a corporation. You're not connected to a tribe. The best part about the orphan archetype, as someone who's been alchemizing it steadily through inner child work, it's the fucking 80s, all right? I didn't even know this stuff, and I was still working on it then, is that the orphan does not have to check in with the tribe on stuff if they have the self-esteem. They're building that, they're growing that. I didn't have to check in with anybody in my family to ask if it was okay if I was a witch. I just told them I was gay. Sophomore year, 1984, yeah, right? Hello, right? Start my own business. I don't do well working for others. I do really well working with others. Drawing the Circle Productions. I have no planets in Cancer. It's in my 12th house. I'm Leo rising. But so I feel you on this one if you are self-employed, or even if you are in the gig economy. That can be very, very, very that. Oh, LLCs. I have an S corporation. I would have loved an LLC, but it was just the dream in some accountant's mind at that point. It wasn't around. Since 1998. Drawing the Circle Productions. Take it from one who knows. Because, darling, in your work you have the visionary. Creative family archetype. If you are an artist, I think you're going to love this, but you're going to find the lead regular challenge in your industry, regardless of what form it takes. The shadow attribute, selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision. to make it more acceptable, I struggled with that when I made the jump to doing readings on YouTube. In terms of the spiritual, on my channel, go back, look at the beginning of the channel. It's all spiritual teaching, right? I'm a teacher. My mom's a teacher, right? I inherited that from her. Talk about Cancerian influence. And so the light is, it took me a while, and it was a big adjustment. Making the jump to doing this stuff as a content creator, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. That is my life. I think I might have this one. You can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I think this one might very well be lifetime. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Doing the best that I can, putting it out there, and YouTube's for free, right? You're getting this for free. So I really relate to this. The rescuer is not really a dominant archetype for me, but I feel for you, particularly with these three. And that's the most we discuss any of these cards, because that's the archetypal skeleton that now we're going to start adding some flesh to that bone with the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. 3 of these face down, the next 4 chakras down. Heart, third eye, crown, the internal world, the feminine energy, the yin dynamic, hence Daughters of the Moon, a feminist deck. Now, second level of power is heart, third eye, crown dominant, just like vocation is 8th chakra dominant. So there's a lot of different ways to crisscross these readings and make connections, maybe making them a bit more specific and personal than general. Please take a nice deep breath, feel it out. This is so much fun. Chill point. And here we go as I call upon my goddesses of water, the sign of Cancer, powers of the West, great goddesses of cardinal water. Please, 3 cards in clarity face down. For the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their work, career, vocation. We'll lay them down, work, career, vocation. We will read them, vocation, career, work. So in their work, first level of power, survival, intuition, how they survive in the world. Not everybody makes their money there. I don't. Heart, third eye, crown. The orphan in their career, which I have immense respect for, being one myself. So, you know, what's going on? Heart, third eye, crown. In the heart, third eye, crown, dominant. Second level of power, creative intuition, which is really going to help that creative archetype in their work, though it be the visionary. And in their vocation, we got the rescuer there, which is, you know, in its light, so amazing. In its shadow, such a nightmare. They set the fire so they can come in and put them out. I run into a bunch of those. That's why I'm like, But also, let's be clear, in the physical world, that is paramedics and EMTs and policemen, police people, fire people. Let's try and keep it gender neutral for YouTube and elsewhere. So please, what's under that heart, third crown for their vocation in this timeless worker vocation read? I have a good feeling about this. Remember, this one felt very, very, very clear, very, very solid. It might intuitively at this point be your leverage point, but let's see what's going on. Okay, so for your vocation, so the rescuer archetype. Heart, third eye, crown, you have a very dominant third eye card. It is the 3 of blades, the 3 of swords, but not heartbreak. Not in this case, at least, because what you're looking at here is getting to the heart of the matter. I always say it. I understand why people think the 3 of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck by Pamela Coleman Smith, bless her soul, Pixie, as she used to be known to her friends, as heartbreak. But the heart's not broken. And heartbreak is more cups. I would say 5 of Cups is more heartbreak. It's getting to the heart of the matter. It's a mental card. It's element of air, so very third eye here. And the key word on here is focus. A maiden, a mother, and a crone hanging out in the desert, putting their minds together, right? Got a pyramid in the background and the riddle of the Sphinx, right? Some mystery going on here that they're focusing in and getting to the heart of the matter. Now, just to say that, acts out of love with no expectation of reward, that might be something, if you find yourself feeling uncomfortable doing that in your work, in your career, get that. You can do that on a much larger level, a more symbolic level and still satisfy and alchemize that archetype in the best way possible. Love it. For the orphan child, I think this might be your leverage. My crabs got the 9 of Cups. Kuan Yin, come on. Chinese goddess, bodhisattva, depends on who you read, but of contentment and compassion, 9 of Cups is self-love. It's not the 10. It's not Inanna's House of Heaven, the 10 of Cups in this deck. That's lovely. That's the ecstasy card. This is being good. This is emotionally being like, no, I'm good. I'm content. I'm not just content, happy where I am. Happy. This is fine. Not just the balance of the 6 of Cups, but much more fulfilling. Cups are running over. But you're going with the flow of it. So this would absolutely indicate a somewhat emotionally balanced and free orphan child, or at least that's open to you, right? But in terms of your career, I would say dominant heart chakra, right? We're going to say heart, third eye crown. That feels really heart chakra. And opening your heart, at least inside, right? And you know, inner child work, whatever. Loving the, I mean, Matt Kahn, bless his heart, his cards will hit the table. The Matt Kahn healing mantra deck, he said, just talk to your heart chakra. That is the inner child. I'm like, thanks. That was so simple. I love his work. But this is interesting. Now, there are a couple of ways to take what's going on here in your work. I think this is your leverage, though. The child, regardless of its sub-archetype, is about safety, and innocence, because if the child feels safe, it's up for everything. If it doesn't feel safe, it's not up for anything, right? And innocence, to see things with clear eyes. Tricky. So remember this visionary in your work? Well, you've got the 8 of Flames, which is the 8 of Wands, which, you know, I can't not see the Rider-Waite. 8 wands flying through the air. It's pretty much everybody starts with, you train with, or at least I did. And it is fast-moving energy. It's very throat chakra. It's very communicative throat chakra. But at the same time, the keyword, which I don't always keyword things, burnout. Now, that's what I mean by different ways of seeing this. Burnout, of course, there's you're putting out more than you're taking in. Right? Burnout, creative burnout, it happens. It's part of the journey. And it doesn't mean you're stupid or you're wrong or you're broken because you burn out. It's part of it. We're all learning our balance as we go in a brand new world. Hello. Hello. My career has changed drastically over the past 5 years. So, you know, this could be a big transformation inside of you, a change going on. However, it is also that passion, that drive. How fast? I don't like the image of a forest fire. It breaks my heart. I'm a past life dryad, right? It's fine right now. But certainly, how fast do things move? How much transformation? How much change? Well, element of fire is transformation. You know, you can't unburn a cookie. You just can't. You can scrape it off. It'll still burn. Okay. So with a visionary there, you could be very impassioned, very much downloading all sorts of stuff, but there are a lot of choices to be made in here. I like it. Let's look at the outside. Lower 3 chakras with the mythic tarot, the masculine energy, the yang. Looking at yourself from the outside in, horizontally, or maybe from the inside out, looking at other people, places, and things. Because lower 3 chakras are relationships in the physical world. So just like the archetype cards are 8th chakra dominant, vocation, and the daughters of the moon are dominant heart, third eye crown here, career, these they're really dominant about the world, right? Particularly that first level of power. So, root chakra, groups, tribes, circles of friends, 3 or more you're involved as a tribe, boom. Second chakra, relationship to another person or thing, as well as creativity, money, sex, and power. It's a tricky chakra, second chakra. Third chakra, relationship to yourself. Your self-image, which is a noun. Your self-esteem, which is a verb. Play with that one. How you are in the world. Your honor code, what you will, what you want, what you do, what you don't. Your gut intuition. Please take a nice deep breath. I feel that. Still point. As I call upon my gods of water, the sign of Cancer, powers of the West, gods of Cardinal, creative, Water. Please, 3 cards in clarity face down for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in this work, career, vocation, 3 levels of power, life purpose read. They have got the Visionary and the 8th in their first level of power work with the 8 of Flames, Burnout, couple of ways to take that, but show us lower 3 chakras, inside out, outside in. What's going on there? Please clarify with just 1 card. Nope, it's 2. It's funny how different decks do this. They like take turns. What's going on? Lower 3 chakras for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in their work. Lower 3 chakras. Thank you. And in their career, Orphan child in the 8th. Kuan Yin on the inner, which is kind of amazing in terms of mother-child vibe. One of the divine mothers of all, Kuan Yin. So please, what's going on? Lower 3 chakras. Masculine dynamic for the Cancerian collective in their career, inside out, outside in, lower 3 chakra. Dynamic, a little tricky. The rescuer in the 8th of their vocation, their calling, their spiritual purpose, their mystical power. The rescuer with get to the heart of the matter focus. Third eye dominant. 3 of Blades. There you go. That's the one. Slippery little sucker. Lower 3 chakra dynamic for their vocation. Let's have a look. See, well, you got a Cancerian card on the table, and yeah, this is good. I think you're going to like this a lot. Look, the rescuer archetype in your vocation, right? Get into the heart of the matter. With the 10 of Pentacles on the outer, the word lucrative comes to mind, but along with that, you know, the money part of it, sure, of the 10 of Pentacles, but it is that family vibe. It is that tribal root chakra groups. Now, whether this is literal biological family or not, this is life purpose. Could be for all humanity. You know what I say, groups, 3 or more, you're a part of it, it's a tribe. Well, that's all of humanity. You're part of that tribe too, right? And there's racial consciousness and spiritual belief and political party and just all of that, right? But this is grounded. This is about bringing this is a 10. This is a completion of a cycle. So what kind of rescuing is going on there? If a lot of wealth came in, get to the heart of the matter, what would you do with it? In terms of your life calling, yeah, pay your bills, good. Take a break, yeah, got it. Vacation, manicure, pedicure, facial massage, you've done it. I think I know who this reading is for. Shit. Clairvoyance for fun and profit. I'll message you later. But get to the heart of the matter. Look at it from the point of view of the rescuer, particularly because that is really hard. Acts out of love with no expectation of reward when a lot of money is involved. But that's why it's a mystical spiritual power. Now I think this makes sense, because you know who doesn't want to deal with the tribe all that much? The orphan archetype in your career, who's got a good flow going on the inside with the Queen of Swords on the outside. This could be a literal person. You from the outside, inside looking out, a 2nd chakra dynamic with an Aquarian, the Queen of Swords, fixed air. No, male, female, doesn't matter. They don't even have to be Aquarians. But that idea of that they are... the Aquarian 11th house dynamic can be very head over heart, and you'll hear that a lot on YouTube. It's true. I've dated a lot of Aquarians. They just don't pull back. They pull back and up, right? Very humanitarian, though. Really good networkers, usually. I mean, the internet itself is very Aquarian in that way. So in terms of a career, also freaks of the zodiac, if I'm allowed to say so, I think I am. But that could also be you, again, from the outside, looking in at yourself. That being very, perhaps think of that, the egalitarian nature of Aquarian energy protecting that orphan child who's feeling really good right now. That's not a bad, in other words, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that perhaps there is a little bit more head over heart right now, but in order to protect the heart in terms of navigating through the lower 3 chakras. And, you know, I would say keep an eye out for really wise Aquarians, right, that have either done what you've done or have that orphan archetype in that way, but they've achieved something. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody personally in your life. It could be a teacher, it could be a mentor of some kind, but definitely Aquarians are usually out-of-the-box thinkers. They're geniuses and rebels that way. And, you know, they have the song, The Age of Aquariums. And here's where the Cancerian energy really does come in. And I think it really tells us about this card here with the visionary at work, right? In your work. Very creative with this, you know, hey Belzy, kitty cat just staring at me. The Eight of Flames, burnout, which could certainly be creative burnout, as we said, but not with the Cancerian card, ladies and gentlemen. We have feline intervention. We have the middle sun. Balthazar, who's been making more appearances lately, and I'm not mad at it at all. I'm glad he jumped up on the white one instead of the black one so you can see him. He is the Leo. He is the Jan Brady at times. He is also the Peter Brady at times because he's a good boy. You can sit down and chill for mama. You cannot come over and sit on my lap. It's like having a luscious, soft, wrapped bowling ball sit in your lap, and I love him dearly. He's my linebacker, my peacemaker, very Cena-esque. Anyway, where were we? Sorry, feline intervention is allowed to distract me. I'm the Archangel of Lyons, after all. Well, one of them. So yeah, the Cancerian card. The Chariot, moving forward, plowing ahead, making your career happen with a creative vision that's burning you up inside. You're burning up for your love. This is the Cancerian card. It's taking the white horse of inspiration and the dark horse, light and dark, the dark horse of motivation, because, yeah, I'm going to do this, going to make this happen, and I'm going to pay the bills, and I got to and finding that to move forward instead of it tearing you in two different directions, which can happen. It's a very emotional card. I would say this is certainly you from the outside looking in, taking a hold of those reins, but you're probably well aware of what it takes to where you want to go, but will you compromise your vision? I tried. I can't water down what comes through me. I tried to dumb it down. I can't. It makes bad things happen in my lower back, so I'm not doing that anymore. I gave it up for Lent. Huge ball of it behind the couch. Okay, so I really, really like this. This is definitely a go-getter visionary we're dealing with in the world. But with that rescuer there, see, it gives it a different vibe. And this orphan child finding their way on their own yellow brick road, Hogwarts or otherwise. Okay, we are done with Tarot Town, so let's go to technically healing system. Carolyn Myss archetype cards and Matt Kahn's healing mantra deck. They're healing systems. They're not really divination. That's not going to stop me from using them like one. Not doing the bookie book reads for this. These readings are long enough. So let's see what the AMs have to say. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. This is a very fun feeling to it. Here we go. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of life contracts, sacred contracts, life purpose through the lenses of the three levels of power, work, career, vocation for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. Without looking at these cards as I go, please, what are the best perfect healing mantras, maybe to make this more specific in a general reading for the Cancerian collective in their work, career, vocation, looking at their work. First level of power, the visionary archetype, visionary in the 8th. 8 of Flames, burnout, but it feels like a burning creative passion with the Chariot on the outer lower 3 chakra dominant because it's a major arcana card, all 3 of them at once. There's their healing mantra. In their career, they have the Orphan in the 8th, Kuan Yin, 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment and all that feels, I guess that's why this feels like leverage to me, because it feels really lovely. And with that Queen of Swords energy, that Aquarian energy on the outer, this could be very well boundaried, right? Very well protected and very clear and very wise, but seeing it from perhaps the stratosphere, fixed air, the more inclusive, egalitarian Aquarian point of view. So what's going on there? Their perfect healing mantra to bring that together, align it, and in their vocation, they have the rescuer with the 3 of Blades. And yes, if there has been heartbreak, if that is part of the 3 of Swords schemata bleed over in this reading, that there's heartbreak there, I'm not really getting that, but then they really have to look at, can they help loving, right, with no expectation of reward. Can they get to the heart of that matter in terms of the Ten of Pentacles, that perhaps that's where they are receiving a chunk of their income, or a landslide, or a something or other, right? Something coming in, but something that is community, family, tribe, based, oriented some way, somehow. The perfect healing mantra to bring that into alignment, please. For the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading in this timeless WCV read. Let's see who you got. That was a lot. Here we go. Okay. So, in your vocation, yes, the rescuer setting down the program. It's for you to get to the heart of the matter. It is a third eye card, really feeling that in terms of dealing with groups, tribes of other people as you create cooperation, because more gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. There's your mantra. More gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. This is not that for the orphan. They've been doing it all on their own. I feel more fulfilled. You are more fulfilled when everyone has a role to play. More gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. That's lovely. That's really lovely. That totally makes sense. That's like Lego piece puzzle. That's easy. In your career, the orphan child, Kuan Yin on the inner, Queen of Swords on the outer, greeting wellness. Balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. So what is that balance about? You've got that Nine of Cups that's pretty balanced. That is in a good emotional place. But in terms of what is this person about, right? What are you seeing? How are you creating balance perhaps in the physical world, lower three chakras, to bring this into alignment? Now, I'm not going to read it from the bookie book, but I will tell you, balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. Being the mantra means that this is about the physical body, right? This is about learning how to survive, taking care of yourself nutritionally, with rest, with exercise, with all of those things that often an orphan archetype won't do because everybody else is doing it, right? There's a little bit, if there's a rebel aspect in there, certainly can be, but not with that Kuan Yin on the inner. So this is about, if you're looking for a life of infinite miracles, and the definition of miracles varies, mileage may vary on miracle definition, but usually the common denominator tends to be something that defies natural law. Well, to see that from a higher place, this could also be miracle thinking, the shift in consciousness from a thought system based in fear to a thought system based on love, says A Course in Miracles. Foundation for inner peace, finding your way through this. But I do feel like this is very possible of an archetype of a person in your life to help see things clearly. Maybe a bit more head over heart though. And let's have it look like a lawyer. Just say it like a lawyer or something like that. Like their job is, trust me, I was raised by them, I know. Because here I think this is a big payoff for you in a really good way. So you have the visionary, right? In the eighth, in your work, what you're doing in the world, how you're surviving, this burning, burnout, passion moving through you. And it makes sense to be passionate and then burn out, right? No one's on full blast 24/7, 365, gathering the reins, the motivation, the inspiration of moving forward. And darling, you get to honor adversity. Honor adversity, don't freak. A fire reveals a path of renewed direction. Once the burning is complete, you're on your way. All the adversity that you have been through, to honor it as necessary for the alchemy of you as a visionary in the world. In some way, shape, or form, however that plays that out, so that you can harness this and move forward in this world. And yes, you have the orphan archetype in your career right now. So relying on others might be tricky in that way. But to bring yourself into that balance, and there's somebody here to help you with that. I can feel that. Or that's really you doing an Aquarian thing. If you have any planets in Aquarius, look into it. And I love this reading for you. But we have I made a mess of this, didn't I? We have one more card to hit the table. Oh, so briefly. So in your work, you're honoring adversity. In your career, you're greeting wellness. And in your vocation, you're creating cooperation. But how you align all of this in your vocation, more gets accomplished when everybody's got a role to play. And how you accomplish this in your career is balance is the life to a key of infinite miracles. And who's in balance 24/7, 365? Well, we'd like to think the Dalai Lama, because he's the Dalai Lama. And in your work in the world, you heal this by getting that fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. And if the burning isn't complete yet, it's not your fault. Get ready, though. Get ready. On your mark, get set, go. Because as you line these up, this could be incredibly powerful. So let's remove some obstacles. Last card down. I know I do go on. But this is my sacred art in the world. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz, right? I love this. This is the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. The A on the end is new for me, but that's Angelo Hartfield. I love the book. The art is gorgeous, and it's a real honor to do these particular readings, tapping into the divine presence, making a prayer, a petition for you all, to the beloved Lord Ganesh, elephant-headed Hindu god of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles, hence those three atoms in between lead and gold. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. And there you are. As I call to the beloved Lord Ganesh, Hindu god of prosperity and success, please help remove the obstacles for this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, so they alchemize their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their lack to abundance, right? However, that lead to gold scale for them, manifesting their life purpose and work, career, vocation, and making it a better place, shifting this whole world to a more golden timeline than leaded. What is your guidance, your grace, your love, your wisdom, your power, your oracle message to help them remove those obstacles in this timeless work, career, vocation read? I hope you have some grasp, because you got Splendor. Splendor, not Splenda. I am not sponsored by them. Just saying. No, Splendor. Splendor. Let that, play with that word in your mouth. It's a good word, Splendor, to use those muscles. Card number 46. And he's got flutterby on his finger. Flutterby on his finger. Is that his mother? I think that's Ganesh's mother. 46. Almost there. I almost turned right to it. Splendor. This is the only bookie book read. Breathe it in, because it's Ganesh. Still point. Lord Ganesh, please transmit. Card number 46. Splendor. Seek and honor the beauty and splendor that is within and all around you. 9 of Cups. There's your leverage. Center lane. Ganesha is surrounded by beauty in this card and is calling it to your attention. Awaken to what you are surrounding yourself with at this moment. Look around. What are you surrounding yourself with at this moment? See more deeply and be aware of the impact of your surroundings on what you create in your life. Ganesha urges you to let beauty penetrate into your heart. And that means to be moved by it, which happens to me on the regular. I mean, I feel weak in the presence of beauty. Good song. You will naturally respond to this beauty by fostering more care and love, not only in your life, but in the lives of those around you, which is the connective tissue here, right? Taking care of yourself. Balance is key to a life of infinite miracles, so that care of yourself, right? Take your vitamins, your Flintstones as you need to. I'm not sponsored by them either, just saying. Right? Is for miracles to really happen here in your career. This is your leverage. This is totally your leverage, water sign that you are. That certainly makes a lot of sense. And then, of course, getting to the heart of the matter of those around you, but also in the lives of those around you. Here's interesting. This might address this Queen of Swords. If your critical voice has been overactive lately, or you find that you've been dwelling on negative behaviors, take a moment to realign yourself. You arrived in this world as a unique and magnificent individual. The core of your being is whole, beautiful, and filled with love. The essence of the higher self wants nothing more or less than for you to be who you were created to be. Ganesha is standing in a meadow surrounded by flowers. The flowers symbolize perfection and beauty. The variety of colors stream healing, loving energy in your direction. The butterflies symbolize the change and evolution that your soul is undertaking. Remember, you have an awareness of your surroundings. See the splendor that is being shown you, and you utilize this energy to support your own transformation, which is what a visionary does. I mean, it's kind of literally in the first line. Capacity to envision what others are not, what is not yet conceivable to others, and that plays itself out artistically, spiritually, all sorts of different ways. Hang in there. Very powerful read. So if you'll bear with me for a minute while I reline these cards, I am going to proceed into what we like to call the blessed summation. A blessing and a summation all at the same time. It's a floor wax. It's a dessert topping. It is the blessed summation, and if you want to hang around for the end, I let the goofy free, like it's been so restrained in this reading, at the end to release the Cancerian collective, which is always my pleasure to read for. Shall we? Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for my beloved Cancerian collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, known and unknown to me, that in their vocation they may provide strength and support to others in crisis, not in every single situation, but in crisis. And act out of love with no expectation of reward by getting to the heart of the matter in terms of perhaps a lot of money and a lot of people, and maybe some of that or all of that, creating cooperation, because more gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play, and that in their career they can embrace their independence based on learning to go it alone, with conquering the fear of surviving, not just as a war child, but as a love child, as a self-love child, as a Kuan Yin, compassionate, go with the flow. I'm good. My career, it feeds me. My passions, my thirsts are being taken care of. And yeah, perhaps with a critical eye, more or less, to the benefit or deficient, so I guess is the other one, or detriment of the situation. But of course, then balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. And maybe that's balancing out in a mental way by pulling back, but seeing a larger GPS POV EIEIO, while in their career may they be blessed with all that they need as the visionaries that they are, embracing their capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others and keeping an eye on that willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain, which is tricky working in the world, and yet they are on fire. May they embrace the burnout when it's burnout, and the passion when it's the passion. Throat chakra, making choices, making decisions, charging forward while they honor adversity, understanding that a fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. And the burning may not be complete yet, but it doesn't matter, because there is splendor all around them, that they are being directed, particularly getting to the heart of the matter with that third eye, particularly opening up that heart chakra with the Nine of Cups, and particularly really grabbing the inspiration and the motivation emotionally, the Cancer card, to tune themselves to the beauty around them, to see their surroundings, and to tap into that unity of the beauty and the truth within them, for truth is beauty, beauty is truth. Google it if you don't know it. And may they be blessed with all that they need to fulfill their role, to fulfill their sacred contract, so they don't have to come back and do it again, but maybe they could come back and do something else if they wanted, and that's the point. To play the role, to play the game, to alchemize these archetypes in the energy field of their own personal work, career, vocation, as well as in the entire schemata of humanity. For the well-being of all. That was a lot. And with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So mote it be. So it is. That was cool. I liked that one. Yeah, rescuers. Did you like it? Like it. Rescue someone. Hit the thumbs up and help them find the read. That's silly. And if you want more of me, subscribe by all means. I'm not stopping. The divine doesn't want me to. So I've got that going for me. And I'm also that creator on Patreon. If you want the deeper, oh dude, Joe, just go check it out. You'll enjoy it. I'm adding new tiers on the 18th of November. I know I just timed the timeless reading, but it's true. And I'm going to keep going. Best thing I ever did 1 year on Patreon. And if you want to book me for a private reading, by all means, there's a link in the description box. Booking a reading with Mal. Really, click a link. You're there. It's about 13 minutes. Did it a year ago. Should probably make a new one eventually. It explains everything you ever wanted to know about booking a reading with Mal, but we're afraid to ask. Don't tell everybody. Otherwise, I love my Cancerians so much. My crab people, my crab cakes, my creatives, my artists of many, many, many different ways, shapes, and forms. May you be blessed with all that you need. And comment if you like, and reach out if you need. I'm here. I love you. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.